Hello, everyone, and welcome to Transformational Tuesday. My name is Deborah Deras, and I am your host and inspirational speaker, author, and life coach, and here to serve you with an inspiring trailblazer that has very much influenced my life and I know is going to transform yours. Today, we are so very blessed because we have the amazing Azucena Maldonado, founder and president of the Latina Golfers Association. Can I get a swing for Azucena, everybody? Hi.
Hi, Deborah. Hello, everyone.
So glad to have you here. So glad you could join us and be a part of Transformational Tuesday. Ever since this idea for Transformational Tuesday came in my mind, you were on my top 3 list that I wanted to interview. And I've known Azucena personally as a friend through networking for the past, I think, 8 years. And every single time that I've been in her presence, I've felt transformed. She's just so full of love, so full of compassion, and she has this servant leadership ability to be able to inspire people to follow whatever mission she's on. And she's always on a mission for something that's bigger than herself. And so I want to ask you, Azucena, because so many people have visions to start a company or to grow in their career, yet they don't have the courage to take that leap of faith to go for it. How did you start Latina Golfers, and what inspiration do you have for others that would like to start something themselves?
What's interesting about it is that I don't feel that I chose it, that I chose golf, that I chose to start the Latina Golfers Association per se. It almost chose me. It was something that I was so moved to do that I couldn't help but do it, but have it realized. How it started was very organic. I became a golfer about 10 or 11 years ago, and I loved it. I absolutely love playing golf, but because I didn't come from a culture of golf, my family didn't play golf, I'm a first-generation immigrant, golf was nowhere in my field of reference. So I didn't know anything about the culture of golf, the business culture of golf, and I didn't have a clue. But I knew I loved just playing the sport. And after I played for about 3 years, somebody invited me to attend a charity golf tournament. Well, I'd never been to one, but I love to golf, so I said, yeah, I'll go. I'm happy to support. And when I arrived, it was like a whole nother world that I had never experienced. I walked in, there's a field of about 125 players, all very friendly, networking on a business networking level. However, what I found about golfers is that they're very much a family. So when I was introduced, even though I didn't know most of the people, they were introducing me as Azucena the golfer. And we were related as golfers. And there was so much power and magic. There were CEOs of companies, entrepreneurs, elected officials, people that might have taken me a few years really to be able to meet on that level. Yet here we were relating as golfers, and all of a sudden we were golf buddies. We were talking the language of golf. And I saw how powerful that was because it's a family. But what was glaring to me was that I was among 3 women in a field of about 124, 25 men. Okay, so I thought, wow, well, that's unusual. I mean, it was fun. Obviously, it was a lot of fun. But I thought, what's wrong here? And then when I attended a few more, and I saw that this was a pattern, there were never more than 4 to 5 women playing in a field of over 100 men. And so I thought, wow, women are missing out on this amazing, magical, powerful tool that is golf. That's more than a tool. It's just something that brings people together on a business networking level that transcends that. And somehow as I said, golfers are family. We become a part of this family. So it's like you're accepted into this family. So then I said, how are women missing out on this when it's so powerful? And I was just moved. I just said, you know, there's something wrong with this. Something needs to be done. I have the wherewithal to do it. Let's do it. And it was just that organic.
And I love that you say that, because I know you do speaking around the country. Book her now, LatinaGolfers.com. I'm her agent. No. So when you're speaking and you're talking about leveling the playing field, right? So here I am as a woman business owner, and suddenly I'm playing with a CEO that is no longer, you know, levels above me, but we're part of a family or like a fraternity or a sorority. That is really powerful.
It is so powerful. Absolutely. That's a great word. It's really powerful. And I love what you said, because that's exactly what happens. Golf levels the playing field. We're not, you know, the CEO, this elected official. It doesn't matter that I'm a woman. That has no bearing on it. We're golfers. It doesn't matter that I'm a Latina. That has nothing to do with the fact that we're golfers. And so that's what we have in common, is the golf, the language of golf, the tradition of golf, and we're now, as you said, together. We now belong to the same family. We're golfers. And that just breaks down all the barriers, and there's nothing in between. There's nothing in that space any longer except us related to each other as golfers. It's beautiful, and it's so powerful.
I love that. And so you were playing golf. You saw that there was a need, which most business owners do. They see a problem out there, and they see a need, and they decide to have the courage to solve it. So did you know how to run a business? Did you know how to start an association? What didn't you know, and what did you learn that can help other people that want to follow their visions through?
Well, I did have experience in business because I've owned a video production company in the past. I think the entrepreneurial spirit has always been within me. So that wasn't so much a challenge, but the challenge was really that I knew that I loved to golf, but I didn't know how to make that a business, how to make that move forward. And what I did was I just applied the skills that I had in business, but more importantly in networking, in all of the things that I've done in my volunteer work, as being members of boards, knowing how to do outreach in the Latino community, doing grassroots outreach. These are things that so many of us just do because we're involved in the community. Well, I just took all of that skill set that I had and said, okay, I know how to golf. I want to share this with other women. How do I do that? And then it was just very natural then. It just was a matter of figuring out, how am I able to connect then with the women? I can go out there, I can meet them, I can network with them. How do I have them come and feel about golf what I feel about golf? That was really the challenge.
And so what I hear you saying, and the first coaching company I ever started was called Passionate Living Now. And when you're passionate about something, you don't have to sell it. You're just sharing it. So you were just generally going to organizations that you knew with Latinas, and we're going to talk about why you selected that group and why that's so impactful right now. And you shared what you were doing, and you focused on the what, which was the golf. And then the how was revealed, the how to do this and how to do that. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because I know a lot of people that I work with that get stuck in the how. They don't know how to do, you know, an incorporation, or they don't know how to start a nonprofit. But isn't that what you learn along the way? Can you talk about that?
Clearly, that was it. In fact, when I began Latina Golfers, that wasn't even in the front of that was in the back. I knew that would happen. As you said, really it was the passion of sharing what I got from golf and how I knew that was going to transform women's lives. So really, it was exactly that. I was just sharing what I knew was going to work for women with them, and they were connecting right away, immediately. For my first event, I had 94 women attend my very first event. So I knew then that there was a niche. There was something that was missing, and I knew how to connect, how to link us to golf. So you're right. I wasn't thinking about how do I incorporate, how do I do this, I wasn't thinking about that at all. I was just wanting to share it with other women. And then once it started happening, then all of that just fell into place. Obviously, you need counseling, you need to reach out to other people, but that wasn't that. Luckily, I didn't get stuck there, or I probably would never have moved forward. I was just doing what I was moved to do.
Doesn't everybody out there love Azucena's enthusiasm? This is what I love about people that have a joy and not a job. Because when you have a joy and not a job, I'm sure Azucena, like me, I never dread having to work on the weekends, right? If I have an opportunity to work on a Saturday, I'm happy, I'm excited, because I love what I do and I know that it's impacting and transforming people's lives. And really, my intention in my life is to be able to have all of you feel joyful about what you're doing. So because our topic, Azucena, is saying yes to the universe, everything that you've done, even before Latina Golfers Association, I know you, has been a labor of love. That it's something you've been passionate about and you put all your effort and energy. What inner work have you done to enable you to live your life so on purpose?
Well, thank you for saying that. That's really nice. There is work to be done, you know, and I think those of us who want to do better, to serve better, to connect with our community better, to live a more fulfilled life, you begin to realize that there has to be an intention. There has to be something more than yourself. And there is work to be done to get there. There's leadership classes, there's spiritual growth, and so I have done that work. I mean, and it's continuous, right? We want to keep growing, we want to keep blossoming, we want to be able to serve better. So yes, I've done, you know, I've been practicing Science of Mind for many years, and that's really how I met you. And that was wonderful. And then I've done Landmark, and I do training. I go to leadership trainings. I do whatever moves me, whatever calls me. But I know that I want to do that because it so helps me to become a bigger and better person and serve better. So there is some work that needs to be done. And in saying yes to the universe, I go through it, believe me, where I just fall right back into my small little self, my small little life, and it takes the work to get outside of yourself, to believe, to trust God, and know that it can be bigger and better. So it is work, but it is still fulfilling, and then the results, what happens after that is, you know, is just amazing.
And what I tell my clients is it's not like homework or dutiful work, it's growth work. We're here as human beings on this planet to grow and expand. If we knew everything, we wouldn't be here. We'd be enlightened souls, you know, floating around, blessing people, right? But because we are here to grow and expand. Any work that I've done, you know, people will say, I want to be a speaker. Can I take you to lunch and pick your brain? I'm like, oh my God. It would take like 6 months to explain, like you. I did, you know, Toastmasters. I did the National Speakers Association. I got my license as a spiritual counselor. I became a life coach. I became a results coach. I became an NLP practitioner. I did hypnosis, you know, and you don't have to do all of that, but there is inner work to do to have the confidence so that when you say you're, you know, the founder of Latina Golfers, you can say that with pride because it resonates. You know that you have done the inner work to represent an organization such as yours. And, it's really important that people know that saying yes to the universe isn't a magical thing, rubbing a genie, doing a vision board, which I do vision boards, but I also follow through with inspired action. So people have to know that it takes following through. So how have you been able to have some of the amazing achievements? People see you on Facebook and they're like, you just won Soy Empresaria, $10,000. You just are on the cover of a magazine. You just did an amazing event. How did you say yes so big to the universe, and what was the process? Let's start with Soy Empresaria.
Okay.
How did you manifest that win?
It has been, the last 4 months have been big and transformational, and I can see a direct correlation between saying yes and all of these things being manifested in my life, truly. Because, we go up and down, and I've been really going through a challenging time towards the end of last year, just personal, self-doubt. We all have that self-doubt. And I was going through that self-doubt, and then finally I did some work. We talked, and just following up what you said is key. What has to happen is action. We can't just start having self-doubt and then just sit in that. The only way to get out of it, or one of the ways to get out of it, is to just take action. And what I know is the truth is that if I just do one little thing today, just one thing, it's going to be a little bit better. And then another thing. So even if you just start with little bitty baby steps, it doesn't have to be something grandiose. Just that little baby steps. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to show up today. I'm going to take action even on one thing today. It's going to make such a difference for tomorrow. And I started like that, and I just shifted. I just said, you know what? Basta con my little low self-esteem and thinking small. No, we are great. Allá, como dice Yvette Mayo. Allá, or however she says it, right? And I just started taking action and saying yes, 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 yes. And I shifted, and it was some work, but I had to create that shift in my spirit, in my mind, to say yes to the universe. Okay, so then I saw that there was, through an e-blast that NLBWA did, I saw that in a couple of weeks was a deadline for a contest or an award that was going to be given to 3 Latina entrepreneurs in California called Soy Empresario, sponsored by SCORE and Eventbrite and Zoom and all these amazing people, and or companies, and I thought, wow, I like the sound of that. I was a little intimidated at first, thinking, wow, they all sound like high-tech companies, and maybe I shouldn't, but I looked at the application, and I said, I can do this. Let me just do it. Let me just start with this application. And I said, and in my mind, I just thought, yes, 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 yes.
Ooh, I love it. Do you guys, wait, let me pause you for a second. So I want everyone to listen and hear and maybe take a note on this, because our inner world creates our outer world. I'm going to do a little coaching right now. So when Azucena saw it, her ego, that's not our amigo, it's our enemigo, I always say that, will tell you, oh, these companies are big, maybe I shouldn't do it. But she took, remember she said the action? What we want to do is take contrary action. So if our ego will say no because it's trying to keep us stuck, we say yes. And just do that little action like Azucena said by filling it out. But before she even filled out the application, she had the mindset for success by saying yes, yes, yes. So that's really, really important, because oftentimes we'll do things and we'll say, oh, I'm not really going to get it, but I'll just try it anyway. No. From the very beginning, and I know, and you know probably by golfing with a lot of men set themselves up, and I think it's because boys are socialized in more sports, at least when I was growing up, where they just put themselves to win the game. And we as women, And we as Latinas, everyone needs to have that inner yes, so that before we even go into something, we set ourselves up to succeed. Okay, I'm pressing play now. Okay.
And I think it was one of the first times I really had ever been that intentional about filling out something like that. I really don't think I had experienced that before. But I really did say yes, yes, yes. I mean, I'm feeling it right now. I'm getting chills as I say that, because it was really, it was so intentional. And not only that, in the application it said you have to be available. The winner would have to be available on February 26th, because that's when they're going to give the award. I looked at my calendar. I knew I was going to be in Texas, and I was planning to stay in Texas through, through March, the beginning of March. And then I said, oh, no, I have to be back by the 26th. So I changed my entire plan to go to Texas so that I'd spend more time before the 26th. And I went and I spoke on the 23rd, 24th. So I said, I'm going to make myself available on the 25th to be there on the 26th. This is when I'm doing the application. This is in December. I changed my plans for February to be in Texas, because I said, I want this. I need to make everything available so that this is mine, so that I'm ready before it. So I changed everything. I said yes. I bought my ticket, everything. And then I just let it go. I mean, I worked on it for a couple of weeks. You had 2 weeks to work on the application. I had 2 weeks to work on the application, because that's when I saw it. I submitted it. I was really happy, proud of everything that I said. And then within, I don't know, 2-3 weeks, I think, because it was a quick turnaround. This was December 31st was the deadline. And so within 2 or 3 weeks, I think, they responded with a yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so let's write down the steps, everybody. I'm your coach, okay? I'm interpreting what she said. Okay, so number 1, you set your intention. Number 2, you absolutely believe, and yes, yes, yes it, till you have chills in your body. Number 3, make yourself available so that the possibility can come in. So already know that it's yours, and really create the space in your life. And this could work for professional and personal, ladies. Okay, so create the space in your life, be available. Number 4, be diligent about doing it. Take the time and energy, the 2 weeks that you needed to really do a great job. And then number 5, I don't know if you know this is your number 5, but it's you let it go. You let it go to the universe, and you just trust that it's yours. And you wait to hear that. And then the final thing that I don't know if you've done yet, but I always recommend to my coaching clients, celebrate. Because the more we're grateful and celebrate our successes, the more the universe gives you more. And obviously you must have celebrated, because right away you got home, and then you were on the cover of Golfing magazine. Tell us about that.
That's true. I mean, they just kind of set so many things in motion. The work that I had done to shift my consciousness, just to shift how I was thinking, to open up, the application. Then when I came back to finding myself on the cover of Southland Golf magazine, the women's issue. So their March issue is a women's issue, and they selected me to be on the cover. I mean, they had done an interview with me, like a couple of months ago or a month ago, and so I knew I was going to be in it. But I had no idea that I'd be on the cover. So I came home to the cover of the magazine, which is in all the golf courses in Southern California. Every golf course in Southern California has this magazine. So so it'll be there the entire month of March. So that was a big win. And then, I mean, just to continue this shift I had an amazing big event we did with Latina Golfers Association on January 24th. Well, I had 6 weeks to put that together, and we had 250 people show up, the majority. 6 weeks to put it together. And normally, that other self would have said, oh, no, that's just too much. 6 weeks to put, it was an award ceremony. We had a golf fashion show. We recognized 8 Latina leaders that are using golf as a business. So it was a big thing. And I had 6 weeks to put it together. And some people said, oh, no, you know, it's the beginning of January. Christmas is in between, or the holidays are in between. Those 6 weeks are really going to be like 4 weeks or 5 weeks, you know, to put it together. And I was like going back and forth. And I said, you know what? No, I have the distinction. I have the tools that it's going to take to put this together. And really, it's to take action every single day, intentional action every single day to make it be realized. So the minute, and the reason I only had those 6 weeks is because the actress that we honored, Amy Garcia, was on the cover of Golf Digest magazine. I mean, not on the cover, inside, in January. So we wanted to highlight, and her agent said she was only available January 24th. And then our LPGA Tour player that we honored that day as well, she started her tour that same afternoon she left. So that was the only day she could do it. So I said, okay, we're just going to do it. So every day I would practice all the things that we learn in all of this training, you know. But it's about taking action. And I'm bold, courageous. And I just said, you know, I didn't have a choice. I said, I have 6 weeks. I just have to, who do I have to be? Who does Azucena have to be? How does Azucena have to show up in order to make this happen? To make those phone calls that I might have been timid about before. I didn't have a choice. I have 6 weeks. I need sponsors. I need people to get there. This is what I have to do to have it happen. And thank God it happened. And really, I thank you, Deborah, and I thank all of the community that supports what we do and what I do, because they showed up. You know, they were there. They said, yes, we're going to support you. We believe in what you're doing. And it all magically came together. It was, even if I say so myself, it was an amazing event. Everybody was jazzed. 250 people there. I get chills just thinking about it, but it took me stepping up and saying, who do I have to be today? Who does Azucena have to be today to make this happen? What do I have to create? What possibility do I have to create? And what do I have to be a clearing for this to happen? What do I have to let go of, get rid of, to be a clearing for this to happen?
Oh my gosh. You know, you mentioned something before, that we were both Science of Mind practitioners. And for those people that don't know Science of Mind, it's basically New Thought, Ancient Wisdom. And it's taking all of the universal truths of all religions and, you know, studying that, which is basically, bottom line, unconditional love. Believing in unconditional love and practicing the principles of that, compassion, forgiveness, that kind of thing. And so when you talked about being it and what do I need to let go of, one of the great leaders of that movement is Dr. Michael Beckwith, who is the founder of the Agape International Spiritual Center, where I got my spiritual counseling license. I think that's where we first met. He's actually on Oprah Super Soul Sunday this month talking. He's on the help desk, and he's been on many, many shows. But one of the things that I recommend, based on what Azucena said, is he wrote a book called Life Visioning. It's on Amazon, and it comes with a CD with a visioning process. If you have a vision, like I'm sure you do, like Azucena did for her event, for your life, the process of life visioning will guide you from a place of meditation. And it's so important to be guided from a place of meditation, because you're able to tap into infinite possibilities. When you're in a place of just your regular mind, you're going to be stuck with that ego. And now I understand when people talk about the enemy, it's just like my saying, the ego is not your amigo, it's your enemy ego. There is this enemy inside of us that will take us out from living big and living on purpose. When I say living big, I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about following through with our purpose and fulfillment. Because when you mentioned that in December you were feeling self-doubt or whatever, I know a lot of people listening may feel off purpose, or you may feel frustrated because you're not doing what you know that you have the capacity to be able to do. And when you do the life visioning process, it asks the questions that Azucena practice. You know, who am I to be? What do I need to let go of? What quality can I embrace? What inspired action can I take? The whole process is basically 4 questions, but I recommend doing it with him and with the book because it's going to put you in a place of infinite possibilities. If you do it on your own, there's a tendency to stay stuck in the head, and you're going to think about what's possible, which might take you out of the game, because when Einstein discovered electricity, was that possible? When they discovered the ability to fly, was that possible? So many of the great creators and leaders do things that are not possible, like Azucena. If people would say, oh, well, golf is not a man's sport, you know what I mean, a woman's sport. People that are great leaders do things that don't seem possible, but that's what makes it so amazing. So thank you so much for sharing that, because I did not realize that that was your process. So
it was my process. And what I do know is that it's so easy to get out of the game. It's so easy. I mean, it can happen in an instant. That machine that we have of self-doubt and all, I mean, that's our default. That is what I've learned.
Yes.
It's the default. That's where sometimes I'll wake up in the morning and it's that default, right? Oh, man, it's too much. I'm overwhelmed. Oh, my God, how am I going to do this? I'm tired. All of this, that's the default. So when I recognize that it's not me, it's not real, it's that default, then I can get out of it and I go, that's that freaking default machine. It's not the truth. It's not real. And then I can step out of it. And I go, nope, that's not me. Who am I going to create today? What is the possibility that I'm going to create today? In spite of the, you know, just let go of that, because then now I recognize it, that it's not me. It's not really me. It's just that default machine. So let's just put that aside and go, what is the possibility we can create? And who do I have to be today? What courage, you know, what's the courage I have to muster up? And, but because it is so easy. I mean, it's not just like, okay, yeah, now it's going to be great like this for me. Yes, it can be. It can be. The possibility is there to always be great for me. But the reality is that I am a human being. And that machine, that default is there. And so it's a practice. It is a practice. You know, and I think the more we do it, that muscle gets built, and it's just easier to let it go than it was for me a year ago. It's just the process is easier. I can just go, nope, nope, nope. Let me shift. This is what I need to focus on. So
I really appreciate that you said that was the default, because there was a time that I was going through a really bad depression, and I thought, how could I be sad? I'm a motivational speaker, I'm a life coach, I have all of these things, and I realized I was listening to Panache Desai, and he says that emotion is energy in motion, and anytime that we repress it, it makes us depressed. And so it's so important to realize that our default is actually the fear-based negativity.
Yes.
And that we have to, and this was so liberating for me, because instead of judging myself for feeling sad or feeling down, I realized that because we live in a world with a low vibration consciousness is the sum total of all the thoughts, and if most people in the world are thinking fear, we're going to catch that. And so for us to be able to be in a place, like you said, Azucena, of possibility, we have to do practices. And this is why I do meditation. This is why I do yoga. This is why I exercise for my mental well-being even more than my physical well-being, because it makes me happy, the endorphins and dopamine and everything that's generated. But it takes practice and it takes action on a daily basis to stay. I think some people are lucky, or some people are just positive, and some people are not. What Azucena and I are sharing with you is it takes intention and it takes inspired action and work to do it.
Yes. And the energy is just there. It goes out. I mean, I didn't seek to be on the Southland Golf magazine. They found out about us. They called. You know, most of the things that are happening, for instance, this week Univision National is going to do a story on this. National, it's going to be on a series they're doing about El Sueño Americano.
Oh, muy bien, muy bien.
I'm very excited, but I did not reach out to them. They found out about us somehow. They called, so we're going to be doing that. A lot of these things, I haven't even posted this, Deborah. I am in Arnold Palmer for golfers. It's like, he's it, right? I mean, he's the man of golf. He's still alive, and so he's a living legend of golf. He has a magazine. I didn't know he had a magazine. It's a quarterly magazine. It's a super beautiful, high-end, this thick magazine, They contacted me. I am in their winter issue. I haven't even posted that, right? So, so when we are positive like this and we are sharing this energy, it is organic, and then the people spread the word, and they spread the word. I mean, I think Latina Golfers Association is branded. I have done a lot of hard work. Yes, I have, but then it's just been growing exponentially, because then the women that are engaged, then they tell their friends, and then they tell their friends, and so it's branded. So at least in Southern California, there aren't a whole lot of places you can go in the Latino circle where they don't know about the Latina Golfers Association, right? Because the energy is such a positive energy that everybody is sharing. And so there is something to it. There is something to it.
And this is actually, there is no like hocus pocus magic. This is, the law of circulation, that what you put out, you receive back. It's just energy. And so when you're putting out something that's benefiting and growing and allowing people to expand, of course, they're going to want to share it. And then your members become your ambassadors. And so not only are they getting the benefit, but they are letting people know. And this is for all of you. When you are in alignment and on purpose, there have been, like, same with you, like TV and magazine and speaking opportunities that have seemingly fallen on my lap, but it's because I planted seeds and was focused and clear on how I was going to transform the world. And when that was, it just corresponded back. Right. And so this is something that we can all do, but it starts with being in alignment and just asking yourself, what is my vision? Who am I here to serve? How can I transform the world? Because you're always going to feel frustrated if you're just focused on you and how can I make money. Even when you make money, you're not going to be happy. I know that because I've coached a lot of people that are making a lot of money but are still not feeling that fulfillment. But when you are on purpose and you are in alignment, then you will be prosperous, but it'll come from a place of being fulfilled. So I want to find out from you, Azucena, any other tools and strategies to say yes to the universe for those people listening.
Well, let's see. How else can we say yes? I think, what else can I share? I think I probably can't say enough about that default, that really on a dime it can shift, or we can go there. And so and to not judge ourselves.
That's the key thing. That's what I wanted you to say. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, because that's what it is when I start feeling like that. I go, oh wait, then I go, well, why am I feeling like this, or who, and then it's the judgment. That judgment that we have of ourselves. But then I'm so glad to now know, to have that tool to go, it's not me, it's the machine. So there's no need for judgment of myself, because that's just going to happen. So now that I know, it's going to happen. And it might happen on a daily basis. I might wake up like that every day. Now that I know that it's not me, and I don't need to judge myself, like, why, you're doing all this work, why do you wake up like that? Yeah. I can let it go. I can let it go. And so I just think saying yes to things that I might not normally say yes to, or saying yes to my family, or to I can be so focused on what I'm doing with Latina Golfers Association that and other projects that when I get involved, engaged in a project, then I don't say yes to myself. So I'm just getting to that place of being able to say yes to myself too.
And so what does that mean, saying yes to yourself?
Well, I tend to be more about making sure that it's all taken care of for everybody else. You know, Latina Golfers, it is something I did create, but it does serve so many women, so that I want to make sure that all our events are perfect. You know, that they serve the women that we're serving that are coming to the max. So I expend a lot of energy on making that happen, and then I ignore myself. Okay, I would rather say yes to waking up early and getting on the computer and making sure that happens than saying yes to myself to have a quiet moment or go take a walk or go. So I will suppress myself to make sure that everything else gets done. And I'm learning that that's not going to work. That's just not going to work for a long term. For everything to work long term, that's not going to work. I have to say yes to myself too.
Yes.
I'm at that place right now, learning to say yes to in what I eat and how I feel about myself and all of those things. So it is a work in progress.
I love that. I love that. So saying yes to yourself is saying yes to self-care, it's saying yes to self-love, and knowing that when you do this, I know this for me, that when I'm meditating and when I'm doing yoga, I'm such a better speaker. I'm able to have so much more clarity, and I'm not so totally ADD. When I don't meditate and I don't exercise, I'm losing my keys, I'm losing my phone, I'm losing my train of thought. So it's definitely the practice. And I love that you said about letting go of the judgment, because that's something that I have been learning, ing. And the contrary action to that is being compassionate with ourselves. That when we have that ego judging mind, not to say, oh, there I go again, but to say, oh, that's not me. That's like what you said, that default. And that is not who I am. Who I am is a powerful being that is here to transform the world. How am I here to transform the world? Show me. And this is what I encourage people to practice. Asking the question to get the answer you want. Don't ask, why am I stuck here? You're not going to get a good answer. But to ask, how can I serve? So how can we serve you, Azucena? You're doing so much to empower Latinas and so much for women and putting us not just on the golf field, but on the map as trailblazers. How can people get involved with the Latina Golfers Association, either as a member or a sponsor? Where can they go? What is your website?
Well, I welcome everyone to become a member of the Latina Golfers Association. It's really simple. It's free to join. It's still free. People keep telling me.
Ooh, better jump in now before there's a fee, because I'm telling her to charge. So register today. Register
now, and you just go to Latina Golfers with an S.com, latinagolfers.com, and you can join now. And it's just that simple. And then I'll keep you posted on what's going on in our activities. We do golf clinics that are fun for women. And we do lessons. We do golf outings for women. We do golf tournaments for women. We make it so that women can learn how to utilize golf as a business tool. So all of our lessons and outings are designed so that women will be able to participate in business golf outings and charity golf tournaments. So there is a purpose also for the lessons. It's not just about teaching you the technical aspects of playing golf, because you could pretty much get that anywhere, although I know we do it really well. It's really the whole package that you get. We get you ready, and we give you that confidence that you're going to need to be able to step out. So I encourage you to do that. Go on our website. You can find out all our upcoming events. And we're starting to do something new, Deborah. I'm not sure I even told you. We started the Latino Golf Club. Because throughout the years, I have all these men that tell me, what about us? What about us? We want to learn too. And that is true. I mean, we didn't come from a culture where our dads and grandfathers played golf, or grandmothers or mothers played golf, right? I mean, some of us did. I'm not going to say we all didn't. I didn't, and a lot of us didn't. So even our guys need to learn how to play golf. So we've already done a golf clinic for the Latino Golf Club, and we're doing a series of lessons right now as we speak for the Latino Golf Club. So it's a mixed group. It's not just guys, it's guys and women.
What?
So it's kind of a new thing, and so you know, we'll be talking more about that in the future. But we want to grow. We want all our community to feel welcome on a golf course because we belong there, and that's what we're about.
And it's really, really welcoming. I went to a couple events and I felt really intimidated. You know what? When I was in Colombia, we played croquet. And I had tennis lessons, but so they started me with baby steps where I just rode on the cart. They're like, Deborah, just be a caddy for the day, you know, and everybody was so nice. And I met this wonderful woman. She actually attended one of my workshops, so I had no intention of doing business or anything. I was just kind of observing, and then I ended up having a new client. So I definitely encourage everyone to get involved. And my company, Synergy Unlimited, believes in the power of synergy, where anything is possible when we support each other. So I definitely encourage all of you. So when you sign up, they'll get an email blast with information on when your events are. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. I'll just keep them posted, and we'll do newsletters, and they can read up on what we're about. And they can just go to the website, latinagolfers.com, and all the information about our upcoming events will be on there.
And you're not just in California, because there was a time when I was just completely on the road, and I would be in Miami, and there you were. I would be in Texas, and there you were. I mean, we were everywhere together. Remember that? That one year, we were at every hotel.
This is true. We would run into each other. Yes, we've branched out to Texas. We've done we have a presence in Dallas, in Austin, and in Houston.
Nice.
And this year, San Antonio as well. So yeah, and then of course we're moving more in Southern California. Even here, there's so much growth. We're going to be in San Diego. Okay, we've had a little bit of a presence there. We're going to grow that presence. We're in the Inland Empire now. We had an amazing golf clinic there not even a month ago with 30 Latinas that showed up. So yes, that I'm kind of going through this growth pain a little bit, and so all of this teaching and practice is helping me to expand to that next level, because it is a growth period to expand to all of these places and to keep everything at the level that I like, which is perfection. Well, you know what I mean. I want the best for our women and our men out there, so I want to present the best.
I love that. Yeah. So how can they stay in touch with you? Are you LinkedIn, Facebook? Where's the best way to stay in touch with you?
Well, we are Facebook. We have a Facebook page, Latina Golfers Association. I'm on LinkedIn, Azucena Maldonado. On LinkedIn, on Facebook, Azucena Maldonado. Twitter, @Latina Golfers. We even have a Pinterest account, so Latina Golfers. So Azucena Maldonado or Latina Golfers, either one. And there's a telephone number also on our website if they want to contact me.
Wonderful. And if you have any questions, make sure to write your comments under this video, and I will personally make sure that Azucena gets them and that you will have the answers. Is there any closing words of wisdom for people that want to transform from where they are to the vision for their lives?
Well, I would say that just for a moment, just sit and think of what possibilities you could create. I mean, just say no barriers right now. For a moment, what possibility can I create? And then think of that possibility, what's been burning inside your little heart. What is that possibility? And then say, okay, I believe, and this is what I've learned a lot through Landmark as well, that really from nothing, you can create anything. So do you see, so you have to get to nothing. So what's the work that you have to do to clear out everything, to clear that space to nothingness? Because from that nothingness, you're going to be able to create any possibility.
Oh my God, that is so awesome. You know, I've heard of Joe Vitale and other people talk about like the 0 point that you want to get to that. It's because then you're totally open and receptive. I've never thought about that before. So people think of nothingness as emptiness or being zero, but that's actually where you start to be able to co-create your life from.
Absolutely. That's it.
Oh, I learned something new. I love that. You know what, Azucena, you've transformed me. So I know that all the people that are listening will be transformed. So I want to thank you for participating in Transformational Tuesday, Azucena. I want to thank all of you for tuning in, whether it's Tuesday or whatever day of the week you choose to watch it. But what I encourage you to do is to subscribe right there to my YouTube channel. So every time we add a new video, you will automatically be notified and get an email saying a new video has been uploaded, so you won't miss an amazing trailblazer like Azucena. Also, if you can comment ideas for speakers, ideas for topics, ideas for shows, I am creating this for you, so I really want to hear from you and your input. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Deborah Deras, or Instagram, Deborah Deras, or Facebook. Guess what? Still Deborah Deras. My YouTube channel is DeborahDerasLive.com, and the YouTube channel is Deb TV, Dynamic, Empowered, and Bold. It is not just Transformational Tuesday. That's just one of the shows. There's another show that is Deborah the Explorer, which is a travel show teaching you how to travel on a dime and go green, put green in your pocket. So I'm going to be going to Miami on Monday, and I'm going to show you some tips on how to navigate around that very expensive city for a very, very low cost. So I really am so grateful to have you with us. Let's give Azucena Maldonado another round of applause. Yay! The crowd goes well. We're so grateful. We knew that this would be an awesome call, and I hope you guys can feel the energy. I just want to say live on YouTube that I love you, Azucena. I really appreciate you. I sincerely bless you, and anything that you do and anything that you're involved in, you know you have not only my support, but my blessings, which I think is the best thing that I could give. And so thank you so much for being a part of this and creating the time in your busy schedule. I really, really appreciate you. And I appreciate all of you for tuning in. So I want you to remember that with the power of synergy, anything is possible. Now go out there and transform your life. Ciao.